This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Once again, very good morning and thanks for joining. So, as part of today's session, we are going to uh, start the introduction of one of the PaaS platform that is nothing but Azure SQL database. Azure, okay, SQL database, database. Okay. So, when you specially go to the cloud, when you just specially go to the cloud, we have basically two platform. One is IaaS, one is PaaS. When you go to the IaaS, okay, SQL on Azure VM, on Azure VM. So where we discuss about clusters and we are still yet to discuss about always on. So we are going to deploy all our clusters, all our always on Azure VMs. Okay, either it can be Azure VMs or it can be AWS VMs. Okay, or it can be Google Cloud VMs. Okay, so all if you are trying to access the infrastructure, like if you want control to the operating system, then specially we'll go to the IaaS platform. Like almost it like on premises only. How you are working in on premises, you will work same in IaaS platform, but the the main is your servers will be maintained by your cloud provider. That can be Azure, that can be AWS, that can be Google Cloud. So when you wanted to control on your operating system, then we'll specially go to the IaaS platform. When you go to the IaaS platform, okay, you'll have the control on operating system. You can take RDP to the server and you can play with the server like how you are using in on-premises, same how you will use in IaaS as well. So whatever we discuss till everything clusters, we created the clusters, we deploy the clusters, we deploy the SQL on Azure VMs, and we played, right? Like same, we are also going to play with the always on. We are going to place the always on the IaaS platform. So this will comes complete in the IaaS platform. Looks like on premises. Looks like on premises. Especially when you go to the PaaS platform. PaaS, platform as a service, means you don't have any control on the operating system. We don't have any control on the operating system when you specially go to the PaaS platform. When you go to the PaaS platform, we are having different deployments like database as a service comes Azure SQL database instance as a service that is nothing but MI managed instance. In again Azure SQL database, you can deploy single database, you can deploy elastic pools, you can deploy serverless, serverless. So when you specially go to the PaaS platform, we don't have any control on the operating system. We don't have any control on the operating system. You will go and deploy your services. Okay, but here a little bit restrictions. Whatever you are playing in on premises, we can't do couple of things. We can't do couple of things. So for example, in on premises you will restart the SQL. We can't restart the SQL server in PaaS platform. Always your services is keep on running. We don't have control on our operating system. We can't restart. We don't have control. Like when you start deploying, okay, in Azure SQL database, in Azure MI, you will see one by one difference. Almost MI looks like on premises, like it supports lift lift and shift mechanism, means you can take the backup of your on premises and you can directly restore in MI. It's like MI is nothing but it's like AWS RDS service. AWS RDS service. So how you will deploy in AWS RDS service, in Google Cloud SQL service, Google Cloud GCP SQL service, how you will deploy it. Like same in Azure, you will deploy by using MI. By using MI means almost lift and shift mechanism. Almost lift and shift mechanism. That is the one thing. Especially when you go to the uh, Azure SQL database, okay, you will have lot of compatibilities when you compare with on premises. So whenever you just started practicing, So practice like, okay, what I can do in on-premises, what I can't do in Azure SQL database. Then you can become strong in Azure SQL database, because there are a lot of restrictions, compatibilities, okay, where you may come across. Like, you can't take the backup of your on-premises and you can't restore in Azure SQL database. Either it can be single, or it can be elastic pool, or it can be serverless, So we'll see one by one, okay? We'll see one by one what are the major advantages, major disadvantages you will notice with the Azure SQL database. Like, you can call it as a database as a service. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, so let's start. Let's complete all these three deployments, okay? And finally, we'll go for MI once we complete everything, okay? So once we complete always on, once we complete advanced performance tuning, okay, we'll go for MI. We'll go for MI sessions. So as of now, let's start with Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database, DB. Okay, in Azure SQL database is the PaaS platform, one of the PaaS platform. Okay, where we don't have any control on underlying infrastructure, where we can just focus on our services along with the data, along with the data. So for example, if I go to the Microsoft block, okay, especially for Azure SQL database, see, Azure SQL database is fully managed platform as a service, is a PaaS platform, database engine that handle most of the database management function, such as upgradation, patching, backups, monitoring, without user involvement. So this is the PaaS platform, sir. More control on your cloud providers. When you go to the specific platform, okay, more control on your cloud provider than us. In on premises, everything is under our control. You need to upgrade, you need to patch, you need to backup, you need to monitor. We need to take in care all this stuff when you specially go to the on premises, correct? When you specially go to the IaaS platform as well. But when you go to the PaaS, when you go to the PaaS, upgradation, Azure will take care. Patching, Azure will take care. Backups, Azure will take care. Monitoring, Azure will take care. You no need to worry. Everything will taken care by Microsoft. We need to just concentrate on our services. Services also 24 by 7, it is keep on running, sir. So our main focus should be data, data. So now, then why Microsoft came up with the MI as a service? So let's discuss about Azure SQL database. Then you will see, today we will deploy Azure SQL database in both the purchasing model or service tiers. Okay, then we will come across what is the major difference you will notice when you compare with on premises to Azure SQL database. So most of the control is handling by the your cloud provider when you specially go to the PaaS platform. When you specially go to the PaaS platform, almost most of the control will be handled by the your provider. So upgradation is going to taken care, patching is going to taken care, backups are going to taken care. Even you can keep your backups for long term. Almost you can keep your backup for 10 years. You can keep backups for 10 years. So we'll discuss it day one. It's day one, it's very difficult to discuss everything. In next session, coming session, we'll see one by one, so that you can understand a little bit easily. So you can keep the backups for 10 years. Okay, automatically Microsoft is going to take and get the monitoring, upgradation, patching, without any our involvement, without any our involvement. So Microsoft is going to take in care. Apart from this, even Microsoft is also going to take in care the high availability, means your data redundancy protection. Not only just go and deploy Azure SQL database, just go and deploy the SQL database, and if something happen, we are no, Microsoft is going to take in care all. See, Azure SQL database always runs on the latest stable version of the SQL Server database engine and patched OS with 99.9% availability. Azure SQL database, Azure MI, both sir, Azure SQL database and Azure MI will run on the latest stable version. Latest stable version means what is our current version? What is our current version? SQL Server 2022. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So always is one step ahead when you specially go to the PaaS platform. When you specially go to the PaaS platform, always ahead than on premises. Means it's a little bit greater than SQL Server 2022 version. Means Microsoft will implement latest and stable version in the especially when you go to the PaaS platforms. When you go to the PaaS platforms, so Microsoft will use latest stable versions so that your availability can be 99.99%. Hope you are getting. So our main focus should be data application. We should not worry about services, we should not worry about upgradation, we should not worry about patches, we should not worry about backups or monitoring. Everything is inbuilt when you specially go to the PaaS platform. Means half of the work has been reducing. Why we are moving to the PaaS? Especially cost cutting. So if your application is a small scale application or medium scale application, so for example, you decide I need to design one iOS application or Android application. So are both iOS and Android application. We don't know anything about that application. We just decided, we got one thought. Okay, we started designing that application. We don't know how that app will end the profits. So instead of you purchasing the lack of servers and deploying your SQL Server license versions and everything, okay, after 6 months, you will decide whether I need to keep this application or I need to maybe may not say. So in case you are not getting that much profits, so how you may decide after 6 months, we don't know. So in that scenario, why can't you go for PaaS platform? Instead of you are purchasing stack of servers and you need to maintain the administrators, upgradations, migration, patches, everything, securities, everything you should take care. Why can't I go for PaaS platform so that I can directly store my data in the PaaS? All this will be taken care by Microsoft. Our main focus should be application data. Agree, not agree?
Yes, sir, agree.
Okay, so nowadays this is the one of the major thing most of the people is looking, cost cutting. Okay, so small scale application, medium scale application, you can keep you can keep your data in the especially cloud platforms, cloud PaaS platform. That is the one thing. One more is, so for example, uh, uh, you want a database engine, you don't want any other services. Like when you go to the on premises, especially when you go to the on premises, okay, what is the one advantage? You can install database engine, you can install database engine as a well. You can also install integration service, you can install analysis service, you can install reporting services side by side. Means within one server you can install all these engines. Along with, you can also install your application on the same server. That is one advantage. If your application team is telling, we don't want any this stuff, we want only database engine and we want only medium scale databases, that time also you can go to the Azure SQL database, because you don't have anything I need to run side by side, and I'm having only a small scale application. I'm having only small scale application. Then why can't I go for Azure SQL database? So in case you don't have any other application to be used for your application, like integration service, analysis service, reporting services, or you don't have any anything like a third party application where you need to run side by side, then why can't you go for Azure SQL database? That is also best choice. So you need to take some proposal to your client. So what they're expecting, based on that you need to make certain decisions and take one proposal to your application team. Definitely they will accept whatever you are making some decisions, right? So in case, so for example, your application need database engine, analysis engine, side by side, again side by side, then you need to go for is platform, or you need to go for on premises. On premises, if they want database engine and application side by side, again same thing. So what they're expecting from you, based on that you need to make the decisions. So in case they want a database engine and other services need to run with the side by side, then definitely your choice can be on premises, or your choice can be is platform. In case they don't want anything, they want only a database engine, and that is not a massive application, that is only medium small scale application, and being they are part of, already they've been part of Azure, they purchase already Azure subscription. Why can't we suggest go for Azure SQL database? You will reduce your cost. Means cost, money is also main matter, right sir, nowadays. So that you can take one proposal to your application team. So basically, if you don't want anything to run the side by side, and I don't want take care about infrastructure, okay, I don't want take care about infrastructure, then your best choice will be either Azure SQL database, either Azure mi both sir, both. Again, what kind of application it is, what kind of features they are expecting from you, features, what kind of features they are expecting from you, based on that you need to make the decisions. Based on that you need to make the decisions. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Okay, that's it. Now, when you specially go to the Azure SQL database, specially go to the Azure SQL database, Azure SQL DB, specially. Okay, now, what is the major difference you will see when you are working with on-premises, when you are working with the cloud, PaaS, especially PaaS platform? Not IaaS. So IaaS is nothing but on-premises only. But your servers are hosted in some other data center like Azure, it can be AWS, it can be Google Cloud, it can be Alibaba Cloud. IaaS is nothing but on-premises. Okay, IaaS is nothing but on premises. Mostly your servers are hosted in someone else data center. Mostly your servers are hosted in someone else data center. Now, when you specially go to Azure SQL database or Azure mi, what is the major difference you will notice? Again, underlying architecture is same, because it is also database engine, but most stable database engine, most powerful database engine when you compare with IaaS platform, when you compare with on-premises platform, especially when you go to the mostly stable database engines. Now, what is the one of the major difference? Being we don't have any infrastructure here. So whenever you are configuring the server, you will choose how many cores of CPU, how much GB of memory, how much storage we want, correct? So when you are trying to configure on-premises servers, or whenever you are trying to purchase a laptop, or whenever you are configuring in IaaS, these are the major things you will take in care, right? How many cores, how much of memory, what is the storage? These three is a major important, right? Correct? Agree, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But when you specially go to the PaaS platform, when you specially go to the PaaS platform, here what you will look into. So whenever you here the deployment is quite different. Okay, the deployment is quite different. Now whenever you are deploying your database as a service or instance as a service, database as a service or instance as a service, when you are deploying your service, okay, you need to choose the sizes. That is a mandatory, sir. You need to choose the size. That is a pretty much mandatory. Now when you specially go to this, so Microsoft came up with the concept called service tiers. Service tiers. Service tier. Under service tier, okay, so where we are having different. So when you go for Azure SQL database, okay, you are having DTU and vCore. 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 When you go for Azure MI, we are having only vCore. vCore. So these are the performance tiers. So especially when you go to the PaaS platform, that too when you go to the Azure SQL database or Azure MI, okay, so you need to choose the sizes. So when you go for sizes, you should call it as a service tiers or you can call it as a performance tiers. You should call it as a service tiers. You can call it as a performance tiers. So when you specially go to Azure SQL database, we can deploy our Azure SQL database service in two sizes. That can be DTU, that can be vCore. That can be DTU, that can be vCore. When again in DTU, we are having three. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. Again, when you go to the DTU purchasing model, DTU performance tier or purchasing model, again we are having three. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. When you go to the vCore, again we are having GP, general purpose, business critical, and hyperscale. Hyperscale. On MI, we are having only one, that is nothing but vCore, and we are having only general purpose and business critical. There is no concept called hyperscale. There is no concept called hyperscale. Means whenever you are going to deploy your Azure SQL database or Azure MI, first you should get the information like which service tier, service tier, which performance tier I need to select. In service tiers, we are having DTU purchasing model, vCore purchasing model. Especially if you go to Azure SQL database. If you go to MI, we are having only vCore purchasing model. So under again that service tiers, we are having different performance tiers or different purchasing models. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium, one is general purpose, one is business critical, one is hyperscale. So which performance tier or which purchasing model I need to select for my database? For my database. So this is the one of the new concept. You will get it especially if you go to the PaaS platform, because we don't have any control on operating system, right? Correct? We don't have any control on operating system. We are just what we are doing. We are just okay deploying our services and we are accessing that services, right? We don't have any control on our underlying infrastructure. So being that one, Microsoft came up with a concept called service tiers. So whenever you are deploying your database, you need to choose the sizes, like how much of CPU, how much of memory, how much of IO, how much of storage. So you need to choose this while you are deploying the Azure SQL database or Azure MI. So especially basic, standard, premium will be available in the DTU. When you go for vCore, general purpose, business critical, and hyperscale. And hyperscale. So when you go for MI, we are having only two. One is general purpose, one is business critical. There is no concept called hyperscale. Okay, not okay, everyone. Rest everything same, sir. You know about the SQL, you know about the architecture of SQL, you know about the storage architecture, you know about MDF, LDF, checkpoint, lazy writers, all are same. recovery models, backups, restores, all are same only. But especially when you are deploying PaaS platform, you will get one more additional layer, that is nothing but service tier layer. Yes, no, clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you go to the first Azure SQL, that's been we are discussing Azure SQL database, Azure SQL DB. Let's discuss about the first DTU purchasing model. DTU. In DTU, we are having three, right? One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. Okay. So first, what is DTU? What is DTU first? Azure SQL database DTU. Okay. DTU pricing. So when I go to the DTU based purchasing model, when I go to the DTU based purchasing model, what you will see? Just scroll down. Yeah. If you understand this image, almost you are good. Okay. Till now, basically till now in on-premises, in Azure IaaS platform, okay, we will choose how many cores we want, how much of memory, how much of IO, and how much of storage. Okay, because everything is working independently. Your CPU is working independently, memory is working independently, storage is working independently. But when you go to specially Azure SQL database, and that too specially DTU purchasing model, okay, here one thing, sir, nothing but it's a blend of resources. Okay, so DTU stands for Database Transaction Unit. Means while you are configuring DTU, if you choose 5 DTUs, means most of the people will understand that. Okay, 5 stands for 5 transactions. DTU stands for Database Transaction Unit. Okay, if I select 5 means okay, I can perform only 5 transactions. It's not like this, sir. It's not like that. So 5 DTUs means it's a blend of CPU, memory, IO. It's a blend. It's working together actually here. Means in these 5 DTUs, it will get the CPU, it will get the memory, it will get the IO. It will get the IO. It will get the IO. Hope you are understanding, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when you
Yes, sir.
specially go to the DTU purchasing model, when you specially go to the DTU purchasing model, okay, so for example, you are performing one insert operation. You are inserting one data on so and so table. You choose an 100 DTUs. You choose an 100 DTUs while you are creating database. While you are creating database, you choose an 100 DTUs. Now, to perform this insert operation, you need CPU, you need memory, you need IO. Correct? Yes, on every transaction, right, sir? For every transaction, you need CPU, you need memory, you need IO. Now, out of this 100 DTUs, okay, assume 25 DTUs it took for CPU, 10 DTUs it took for memory, okay, 15 DTUs it took for IO. So total, how many DTUs it has been consumed to perform one insert operation? Totally 50, right? Totally 50 DTUs consumed to perform one insert operation. Again, try to understand the logic. It's a blend of CPU, memory, and IO. Means traditionally, sir, you no need to take care. Whenever you are inserting or updating, deleting, your insert, update, delete will work as usually how you are inserting in on-premises. But how the resource are getting, your resource are getting in the form of DTU. In the form of DTU. In that DTU, it contains CPU, it contains memory, it contains IO. But in traditionally, everything is working independently. Everything is working independently. In DTU, it's not a independent, it is a blend. It's a combination, sir. So when you are performing insert operation, it took 25 DTUs for CPU, it took 10 DTUs for memory, it took 15 DTUs for IO. Total 50 DTUs it has been consumed to perform this insert operation. Again, if someone is performing, one more select statement, okay, for this again 10 DTUs for CPU, okay, 5 DTUs for memory, okay, uh, 15 DTUs for IO. If you are performing again one more select statement, assume almost 30 DTUs it consumed. Again, someone is performing one more select statement, 10 DTUs, sir. Out of 100, 50 has been consumed by this insert operation, 30 has been consumed by the select operation, and how many are pending? 20, right? Out of 20 only, this select statement should run. Now you may notice little bit performance issue for this select statement because there is lack of resources. Like same in on-premises also same, right? If you're running multiple concurrent transactions, definitely you see lack of resources problem. Yesterday also we discussed same thing, lack of resources. Like same here also you will see lack of resources problem. So, but not like a traditional. It is quite little bit different, sir, when you specially go to the Azure SQL database. That too, when you specially go to the DTU purchasing model. Question, sir. Clear? Not clear? How the DTU purchasing model is working? See, blended measure of CPU, memory, and read-write rates. Whatever the DTUs you are selecting while you are deploying your database, from that DTUs it will took the CPU, it will took the memory, it will took the IO, but not like a traditional, that's it. But again, backend same only, sir. How your on-premises CPU will work in the DTU also same like work, but how the allocation is working in the form of DTU. You can ask the question, sir. Any questions? Don't get confused. This is new to everyone. Only for Azure SQL database. It's not for any other platform, sir. Only for Azure SQL database, you will see the D2 purchasing model.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, yes, sir.
You are saying that one query is consuming 50 DTUs out of 100 DTUs.
Yes,
So in the billing cycle, which I suppose should be monthly, right?
billing.
Yes.
Forget about billing, sir. Forget about billing. We'll see how the license is. We not yet started about the licensing. Okay, when we start the licensing, you will get to know how. We'll see
Okay.
the
Okay.
how the pricing will all that stuff. And now try to
Okay.
understand the logic here. This logic is very important because it's a new to everyone. Hope everyone clear how the allocation, not like a traditional, sir. It's like a little bit quite different. Okay, allocation from the Azure SQL database, especially for Azure SQL database.
Okay. So you are being charged with that one transaction or altogether? Means my
All together, sir.
my
No,
total
all together. It's not like a one transaction. No one will charge for one transaction. It's charge for your service. It's charge for your service, sir. Service.
Mhm.
It charge for your database. I will show
Okay.
you, sir.
So you are being
In a
charged
while,
for
I will show you.
100 DTUs, not 90 DTUs totally, right?
Sir, how you selected, what the resource you selected. Based on that only Microsoft will charge whether you are using, whether you are not using. Correct? Microsoft won't take care. So what is your database deployment? Being your services
Hmm.
keep on running. Being your services keep on running. Okay, Microsoft will charge for your service. What are the resources you selected? Based on that, Microsoft will charge, right? Not about the transactions. The transaction it is internally working.
Okay.
Internally working. So for example, you are purchasing, take on premises, sir. Take your on premises. So what you will do, you will
Mhm.
purchase the license. Either you will purchase the enterprise license, you will purchase the standard license. From again license, again there will be two type of license. One is core based license, one is server plus cal based license. So what type of license, what type of edition, okay, and what are the restrictions, what are the compatibilities, all work together, right? Microsoft don't take care about how many users are connecting, how many transactions you are performing. Like same here also same. Whenever you are deploying, what is your resource you selected while you are deploying your service?
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you are deploying your database, so what is the resource you selected? Either you selected DTU purchasing model or you selected vCore purchasing model. Under the DTU purchasing model, you selected basic or standard or premium. Under vCore, you selected general purpose, business critical, hyperscale. Even under general purpose, you selected any serverless. All that comes into the picture when you are deploying your database, sir. We'll see the pricing part. Okay, so when you specially go to the DTU purchasing model, if someone is asking interview question, okay, your answer should be DTU stands for database transaction unit. It's a blend of measure of CPU, memory, and IO. For example, if I creating a deploying a database with the DTU purchasing model and I selected 100 DTUs, while I'm performing insert operation, it will get the CPU allocation from the DTUs, memory, and IO. Okay, so that is how you should explain to the interviewer, sir. That is nothing but blend. Okay, okay, not okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, now when you specially go to the DTU, again we are having three. We are having three, sir. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so we are having three. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. One is premium. So when you go for basic, when you go for standard, when you go for premium, as Microsoft is telling, you can go for development and production, you can go for development production, you can go for development production. All the three models are fit to the production box. Microsoft is not highly recommending, but Microsoft is telling that okay, you can choose this purchasing model for even for production as well, not only for dev and test. Not only for dev and test, you can use this purchasing model even for production server, even for production server. But instead of displaying here, sir, I prepared we have one Excel sheet. Okay, I make everything here, uh, whole information at one shot. Okay, so when you specially go to DTU purchasing model, we are having basic, we are having standard, we are having premium. We are having premium. Okay, so what Microsoft is telling, you can choose DTU purchasing model for development and production, and SLA is 99.99%, 99.99%, 99.99%, any model. Either you can go for basic or standard. Or now here what you will see means, especially if you go to the backups, okay, when you go for, before that, one second, sir, let me, yeah, here, this is very important. So when you go to the basic, your database size can be maximum 2 GB, and you can get only 5 DTUs. Sir, what I can do with 5 DTUs, sir? Getting my point? So when you are deploying your Azure SQL database, that too in DTU purchasing model, and only with the basic means your database size can be only 2 GB, and you can get only 5 DTUs. You can get only 5 DTUs. You can get only 5 DTUs. So when I go for standard, when I go for standard, okay, you will get you will get your database size can be maximum 1 TB, 1 TB, and you will get 3000 DTUs when you go for standard. your database can use up to 3000 DTUs. 3000 DTUs. When you go for premium, your database is 4 TB. Your database size can be 4 TB, and maximum you will use 4000 DTUs. And maximum you can use 4000 DTUs. Sir, this size will also include log file. It is not only data file, it also include log file. Both your log file, your data file size can be maximum 1 TB when you go for standard, 2 GB when you go for basic, and premium you can get only 4 TB. In case your database size is, you may ask one question, Subbu sir, if my database is greater than 4 terabytes, now what I can do? Means you can't choose DTU purchasing model. You can't choose DTU purchasing model because your database size is maximum 4 TB. You can't grow more than 4 TB, up to 4 TB only. If you go for vCore, if you go for vCore, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Okay, here also under general purpose, your database size can be only 4 TB. Under business critical, your database can be only 4 TB. But under hyperscale, your database can be 100 terabytes, 100 TB. Maybe I can go for hyperscale. Maybe I can go for hyperscale, or or sir, or you can go for MI general purpose. Under MI general purpose, your database size can be 16 terabytes. 16 terabytes. So straight away answer, sir. Whenever my database size is more than 4 terabytes, we are having only two options. One is under Azure SQL database hyperscale. One is on Azure MI general purpose. Blindly you should get answer. Whenever your database size is more than 4 terabytes, you are having only two options. One is under Azure SQL database hyperscale. One is Azure MI general purpose. Last year, uh, last year Microsoft enhanced general purpose, or even general purpose is also up to 4 TB only. Now he enhanced to 16 terabytes. So you have only two options. Whenever your database is greater than 4 terabytes, either you can go for hyperscale or you can go for Azure MI general purpose, because there you can maintain your database greater than 4 terabytes. Hope you are getting, everyone.
Yes, sir.
I got it, sir.
Okay, here you will see resource limitations. One thing is resource limitation. When you go for basic, when you go for standard, when you go for premium, you will see resource limitation. Also, you will see a difference between features. If you go for, okay, Azure SQL database versus MI, okay, features. So for example, if you go for MI and Azure SQL database, you should see the features. What are the features are compatible with Azure SQL database? What are the features are not compatible? Okay, so what you are expecting, whether that will fit on this service or not, you can come here, sir. This is the best block. Most of the people asking like, Subbu sir, how I can get to know what feature is compatible, what feature is not compatible. Okay, see, sir. Okay, attached detach is not compatible. Auditing, yes, compatible. Active directory, compatible. Backup command, no. Yes, here you can't take backup, but yes, you can take the backup. Built-in function, okay, you can. So scroll down. CDC, yes, compatible. Collation, yes. Here, no. Yes, here, yes. Okay, here once you deploy your database, you can change the collation. Here you can change the collation. Column store index, compatible. Okay, in-memory OLTP, in-memory OLTP, yes, compatible, but only on premium under DTU, under vCore business critical. In other, no. In-memory OLTP is not compatible. So file stream not compatible. So Whenever you go here, you will see the concepts, you will see the futures, whatever you've been working in on premises, and try to compare whether it is compatible or not with Azure SQL database, with Azure mi with Azure mi. Getting my point? There are a lot of stuffs are here. Resource utilization. See, with Azure SQL database, maximum you can go for 128 cores, and maximum you can go for 100 terabytes. With Azure MI, maximum you can go for 80 cores, and maximum you can go for 16 terabytes. And your TempDB, your TempDB. So lot of information Microsoft itself provided are here itself. Which we should go here whenever you got some time. Go here, refer this blog, and make something note what is compatible, what are not compatible. Whenever you are working, that will definitely will help you. What is your uh, on premises structure, whether if I move to the cloud, what kind of challenges you will face. Easily you can recognize if you know that these features are not compatible, these features are compatible. Hope you got it, everyone. So, like same here, Microsoft mentioned, sir, when you go to the DTU purchasing model, when you go to the DTU purchasing model, what Microsoft is telling, okay, you have three purchasing model. One is basic, one is standard, one is premium. Under basic, maximum your database size will be 2 GB. That includes log file, and maximum you will get only 5 DTUs. And when you go to the standard, maximum your database size is 1 TB, that includes log file, and your DTUs maximum will be 3000. And your premium, you can go for 4 terabytes of database, that includes log file, and maximum you can get 4000 DTUs. 4000 DTUs. Hope you are getting. Okay, now here
Yes.
little bit, sir. uh, Now when you go to the backups, especially I told you, right, when you specially go to the backup part, Microsoft is going to take in care. Mostly tomorrow I will explain, sir. We'll discuss all this concept. Okay. Okay, so when you go to the basic, there will be only local redundancy storage. Means you are going to take local backups, not user. Microsoft will take local redundancy backup. But when you go for when you go for, okay, see, you can take the geo redundancy, you can take the zone redundancy, you can take the local redundancy backup. Okay, basically we don't know what is that geo redundancy, zone redundancy, local redundancy. Tomorrow we are going to explain the same concept, sir. You will get stronger. What is that geo redundancy, zone redundancy, local redundancy? We'll discuss that part. Means you can take the backups, you while not you, sir, Microsoft. So Microsoft is going to take the zone redundancy backup, okay, geo redundancy backup, local redundancy backup, and your retention will be 7 days, and you can also store your backups up to 10 years. Up to 10 years. Here also same logic, but you can increase your redundancy to 35 days, but here only 7 days retention. Here you increase to 35 days retention. Here also you can increase to 35 days retention when you go for premium. When you go for premium, you can increase to 35 days retention. Here also you can increase to 35 days retention, but here it is a default 7 days retention. When we are discussing backup, we'll see all one by one, sir. Okay, and CPU always little bit lows are here, because this is the basic to basic. Okay, so when you go for standard, uh, your resource utilization will be little bit high. Okay, very good, sir, it will give better performance. So when you compare with basic, standard will give better performance. When you compare with the standard, premium will give the better performance. That's it, sir. Means it will give the better performance. Okay, see, latency is 5 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds. Read latency will be 5 milliseconds. Write latency will be 5 milliseconds. Even when you go for standard also same, sir. 5 milliseconds read latency, 10 milliseconds write latency. But when you go for premium, 2 milliseconds means your read rate is very fast when you go for premium purchasing model. When you go for premium purchasing model, sir, again, based on what configuration you are doing, that will differ, right? So for example, uh, you are having one organization, sir. Try to understand the logic. You are having one organization. Okay, you are having 10 customers. Out of the 10 customers, 3 customers are most valuable customers because they are having lot of shades on your company, and 7 more customers are medium scale customers. Okay, now who will give the best performance? So who will choose you as a best, most valuable customer? That 3 customers, right? Who is going to make lot of turnover for your company? Like same Microsoft is also doing same stuff, sir. Like whenever you are going for basic, so standard, okay, medium, good, so premium, good. So Microsoft also treating same thing in the back end, like how we are treating, when you go for our business. Same how Microsoft is also choosing the same hierarchy, sir. Look, when you want expect some performance, then go for premium. Okay, when you are okay, I'm pretty much good, then you can go for standard. It will give the best performance, but not that much expect like a premium performance tier, because under premium your latency is little bit low. Okay, so when you go for IOPS, input output per second, so 1 to 4 input per second you can perform under basic, 1 to 4 input per second you can perform, and it's greater than 25 IOPS per second you can perform under DTU, under premium DTU purchasing model. So that's what. Whenever you get a chance, just read this Excel sheet, sir. I make it everything here, whatever the information, all these are available. Okay, so how many cores you will get it, how many cores you will get it Azure SQL database, how many cores you will get it for MI. Okay, and storage, where the storage is, and where your database sizes. Okay, manager instance sizes, storage sizes, all this I explained, sir. Everything I make it here. You can refer once whenever you are having time. So especially when you go to the Azure SQL database, especially when you go to the DTU purchasing model, we are having three. One is basic, standard, premium. Under basic, standard, premium, these are the difference. Like column store index is not compatible. Yes, compatible, but from S3 and above. It's compatible. In-memory OLTP is not compatible, not compatible, compatible. So I already shared you one uh, mm, difference, features difference, right? Resource difference. Then you can go through here. You will get lots of answers for your questions. What are compatible, what are not compatible. So most of the people will ask, Subbu sir, is there any blog where I can get all the differences? Compatible, not compatible, features differences, all this stuff. This is the best blog, sir, where Microsoft provided. You can refer this blog. You will get lot of stuff here. Questions only for D2 purchasing model. No, yes. Okay, if no questions, let's go for vCore purchasing model. Okay, so vCore is both SRC. You can see vCore, this vCore purchasing model is applicable to Azure SQL database. This vCore purchasing model is also applicable to the Azure MI. Azure MI. Okay, so it is applicable for both vCore, but only for DTU only for Azure SQL database, not for MI. Not for MI. Only DTU will be only for Azure SQL database, not MI. Okay, MI is having only vCore purchasing model. vCore purchasing model. So vCore is nothing but again traditional, sir. It's a traditional. How you are working, right? CPU is working independently, memory is working independently, IO is working independently. Like how we are traditionally working, like your traditionally vCore will work, sir. Traditionally, your vCore will works. How our on-premises is working, same how your vCore will also work. vCore will also work traditionally. It's a traditional, sir. Now, when you go to the limitation, especially if you go to the limitation, okay, if you go to the limitation, so here Microsoft mentioned lot of stuff, sir, lot of stuff. Okay, lot of stuff. This charts are very important, sir, where you will get to know all the information. So when you specially go for Azure SQL database, the two vCore purchasing model, you are having business critical, you are have sorry, general purpose, GP. You can call it as a GP, you can call it as a BC, business critical, you can call it as a hyperscale. Three deployment models, three purchasing models. One is general purpose, one is business critical, one is hyperscale. One is hyperscale. So when you specially go to the general purpose, when you specially go to the general purpose, okay, what you will see, what you will see means general purpose is nothing but balanced, sir. Balanced. A simple, try to make a note. It's a balanced. It's a balanced. Again, I mean to say it's a balanced. Means what do you mean by that balance? Means per one core, per one core, whatever you are selecting. So I need to select 2 core CPU, I need to select 3 core CPU, I need to select 4 core CPU, I need to select 5 core CPU, I need to select 6 core CPU, 8 core CPU, 10 core CPU. You can select up to 128 cores. Minimum is 2 core, maximum is 128 core. Minimum is 2 core, maximum is 128 cores. Minimum is 2 cores, maximum is 128 cores. 128 cores maximum you can select. So what do you mean by that? Means so per core, per core Microsoft is allocating 5.1 GB of RAM. Someone asked the question, how much memory is allocated for specially PaaS for vCores? Means per vCore, per one vCore, 5.1 GB of RAM is allocating by Microsoft. Getting my point, everyone? Okay, maximum you can get 128 cores in any performance tiers. Either you can go for general purpose or business critical or upper scale. Maximum you can get 128 cores. Minimum is 2 core, maximum you can get 128 cores. Okay, when you specially go to the storage, it supports 1 GB to 4 GB. It supports 1 GB to 4 GB. It supports 10 GB to 100 GB. 10 GB to 100 GB. That point. And this is very important, sir. Your data is storing under premium only, premium storage only, premium storage only, but remotely your data is storing, not locally, not locally. It is storing remotely when you go for general purpose. But when you go for business critical, it offers business application that highest, okay, resilience or failure by using the several high availability secondary replicas and provides the highest IO performance. Sir, if you are expecting high performance, again I'm repeating, if you are expecting high performance, then go for the business critical because your data is storing super fast local SSDs. Cost is also, sir, matter. Again, cost is also matter. But if you want high performance computes services, then go for business critical because it's a super fast local SSD storage. Got you?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, most of the time I have seen that in ZD they are asking for a business critical,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Basically, it's very difficult, ma'am. Everyone I'm telling, it's very difficult to remember all this stuff. Okay, in our day-to-day busy life, we will definitely forget some benchmark values, right? While you are attending interviews, especially for Azure SQL database, I am providing couple of blocks, right? Just refer this block blindly. Just refer that blocks once before you attend the interviews. That will definitely will help you. Okay. I won't say anything like, see, suddenly they may ask you how much memory will allocate. It's very difficult, right? Per core, 5.1 GB of RAM is allocating, and your data is storing remotely. Here, your data is storing locally. Here, dual coupled storage means locally cache. D, decoupled means, okay. So your data is locally storing, but it is also caching, because hyperscale is the massive database, sir. It supports up to 100 terabytes, and it is auto growth. Means whe- when you are deploying, your Azure SQL database, that to hyperscale, you can't choose your database size, sir. Here both you can choose, but here no, you can't choose. Here you need to choose hyperscale. It will growing, auto growing. It is auto growing to up to 100 terabytes. It will grow up to 100 terabytes. And how many IOPS it is supporting? 16,000 IOPS per second it is supporting. 8,000 IOPS per core it is supporting. Sir, per core. Don't see this value, sir. This is for overall your database. For overall your database, 16,000 inputs, outputs per second it is supporting. Sir, when you go for DTU, how much it is supporting? Greater than 25, right? Agree, not agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Just now we discuss. Okay, here it is supporting 16,000 inputs, output per second. It is supporting when you go for general purpose. When you go for business critical, 8,000 per core. Per core, sir. It's awesome. Correct? It's awesome, right? Per core, 8,000 IOPS, input outputs. Maximum 2 lakhs per second you can perform input outputs. And here, oh my God, it's more. Okay, it's more IOPS, maximum local SSDs, hyperscale with multi-threading architecture with the caching. Okay, but price is also awesome, sir. If you are
Mm.
expecting performance, price will also awesome. Okay, please make a note, everyone. Okay, so hyperscale you can get 10 GB per core. Even you can get 10 GB per core. Here the IOPS is super good when you go for hyperscale. Whenever your database size is greater than 16 terabytes, blindly you have only one option, that is nothing but hyperscale. Correct? If your database size is greater than 16 terabytes, you are having only one option, that is nothing but hyperscale. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
And when you go for backups, as usually same, sir, you can have local redundancy, geo redundancy, zone redundancy. Okay, you can keep your backups for 10 years. All that same, sir. That up to here, this part we will discuss. Every part we'll discuss, sir. No worries. Again, no worries. We'll discuss one by one with the practical only. Now go to the availability. Availability. Here only one replica, sir. Under general purpose, you have only one replica. There is no readable secondary replicas. There is no readable secondary replicas. But when you go for business critical, here you are getting maximum four replicas. Four replicas. Three replicas are, sir. Three replicas are, okay, redundancy. One replica you will get readable redundancy, readable. So somewhere I mentioned, sir, about the redundancy. Where, come on. No, yes, yeah, readable. There is no built-in readable, sir, when you go for general purpose. But when you go for mi, 0 to 4 usable geo replication, here 4 are built-in replicas. Here also 4 built-in replicas. Here also you will get 4 replicas. Hyperscale you will get the 4 replicas. Business critical you will get the 4 replicas. But general purpose you will get only one replica. You will get only one replica. You will get only one replica, sir. Geo redundancy, high availability is previous, sir. Still Microsoft is working. Even for general purpose also, Microsoft is working to bring the replica concept. Like You know about always on, right? A little bit about always on. We
So,
discuss a lot.
sir, I have a question here.
Yes.
So, there is no primary, I mean, node here, right? All are
Yes.
replicas,
Yes.
not
Yes. Yes.
secondary
Yes.
or like their
No. No.
theme
No.
is
No.
like
No.
all are
No. No. No.
replicas.
No. There will be definitely zone. Zone means dr. Dr. Zone means dr, sir. Dr, ma'am.
Okay,
That's what. Hold on. Okay, we not yet discuss high availability. That's what. We'll discuss one by one. Security will discuss, backup will discuss, high availability will discuss. Okay, when we are discussing respect to concept, you will become stronger. Until this, you will have a lot of questions on your mind. Just hold all that questions. Next session we'll discuss what one by one we'll discuss. Then you will become stronger. Hope you understand. Securities will discuss, high availability will discuss, backup will discuss, monitoring will discuss, linked server will discuss, performance will discuss. Then you will become strong here. Until unless you will have a lot of questions. Just I am exploring all the stuff in a brief now. We'll see one by one in the coming sessions. Okay?
okay, thank you.
Yeah. There is a geo redundancy. There is, yes, there is a geo redundancy. Okay. Pricing and billing per core, sir. Whatever the core you are selecting, whatever the storage you are selecting, based on that, Microsoft is charging. Microsoft is not charging for IOPS. Microsoft is not charging for IOPS. Microsoft is only charging for core and storage. Storage. These two Microsoft is charging, sir. Microsoft is charging, and you will see lot of stuff. Okay, we'll see one by one, sir. We'll see one by one when we are discussing deploying the Azure SQL database. Okay, so when you go for hyperscale, when you go for business critical, when you go for uh, general purpose, okay, what is the differences, what are the restrictions, that is one, that is what we discussed. Any questions, sir? If no questions, okay, just relax for 10 minutes. Sharp 9:30 we will start the deployment. We will deploy Azure SQL database, first Azure SQL database with the DTU purchasing model, with the vCore purchasing model, with the serverless purchasing model. Three we will deploy today. Okay, just relax for 15 minutes, sir. If no questions. Yeah, hold on. At 9:30, just relax for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm back, everyone. Everyone able to hear? Are you there, online people? Everyone? Everyone back to online? No, yes.
I'm here. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
yeah. Okay, yeah, let me. Now, so yeah, thanks. So we've been discuss about what is Azure SQL database, why we are going for PaaS platform, and we discuss about the especially with the service tiers, which is new concept for us. Rest everything same, sir. How on-premises will work, how your Azure SQL database or your Azure MI will work same, and each service tier, what are the different performance tiers and what are their limitations, resources, everything we've been discussed. Now we are good to deploy Azure SQL database. Okay, so first when you go here, go to the home button. Okay, if you search for database. Okay, you will get n number of services. You will get SAP service, you will get MySQL service, you will get PostgreSQL service, you will get Maria service, you will get Azure SQL database service, Azure database for Postgres. So you will get n number of database as a service. Out of this, our service is SQL database. SQL database. Not we are not deploying MySQL, we are not deploying PostgreSQL, we are not deploying Maria, or we are not deploying anything. We are deploying SQL Server database. So let's choose SQL database. Okay, SQL database. Currently there are no database, sir. Let's go and click on create. Let's go and click on create. So when you try to create, as usually again same, the first concept is you need to choose your subscription, you need to choose your resource group. These are the two common things for all the services. So currently I don't have any resource group. Let's create one resource group, sir. Okay, let's create one resource group. I creating the resource group. Now before you go and create Azure SQL database, you need a server. But you may get one question. Subbu sir, this is the PaaS platform, right? Even it is a PaaS platform, you need a logical server, not a physical server. Means you need one server that you can't take RDP. This is a logical server. From this logical server only, Microsoft is going to allocate the resources from this logical server. So you need one logical server. So before you go and create a database, first you need to create one logical server. And before you go and create logical server, there is a service called pricing calculators or Azure pricing calculator. Okay, so if you wanted to see how much Microsoft is going to charge for each service, you can choose all here. So for example, I need one logical server. Okay, SQL server is nothing but logical server. So currently any service you are able to see here related to SQL server, you are seeing the VM, you are seeing the VM skill set, you are seeing the Stress database, you are seeing Azure Data Factory. Are you able to see any server called SQL Server here? No, right?
No.
No. Means Microsoft is not charging for logical server. Try to understand the logic. Microsoft is not charging for logical server. It is a logical server. It is a logical server. For logical server, Microsoft is not charging any price. It is a free of cost. It's a free of cost. Hope you understand. So first you need to create a logical server. On top of that, you need to create your databases. So For logical server, Microsoft is not charging any amount. So practically everyone clear, sir? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go for creation, sir. Again, same concept. You need to choose your subscription. You need to choose your resource group. Let's create one resource group, sir. SQL-RG resource group, and let's create the server called KMS SQL VM. This is my server name. This is my server name, logical server name. It is not a physical server name, it's a logical server name. You should follow some standards. Don't use spaces, don't use too many characters. Okay, you should follow some standards while you are creating a logical server. And for all your logical server, this is your server name and this is your fully qualified domain name. Database dot windows dot net. Database dot windows dot net is your fully qualified domain name. So while you are connecting to this logical server, you need to pass the database name dot, sorry, logical server name dot database dot windows dot net. When you see this is the connection string, you should get blindly idea this is my Azure SQL database. This is my Azure SQL database. So when you see this in connection string database.windows.net, you should get a blind idea. This is my Azure SQL database. For MI, there will be different connection string. For Azure SQL database, this is the connection string. So when you see this as a connection string, you should get a blind idea. This is my Azure SQL database logical server. Azure SQL database logical server. Everyone clear?
It's like DB engine, right?
It's a DB engine, ma'am. It's a DB
Okay,
engine. Okay. Now
got
you
it.
need to choose the location. You need to choose the location, and forget about now. Basically, I'm choosing SQL authentication. Next session we will discuss about the securities. We'll discuss about the backup rate. I will discuss one by one, ma'am. Sir, this is the basic deployment again. Okay, this is the basic deployment. Currently, I'm choosing SQL authentication. SQL authentication. Let's choose the SQL login and choose the password, sir. Password. Okay, it's fine. I chosen SQL login. I chosen the password. Okay, now click on next. Again, I told you right when we are discussing securities, I will discuss all this stuff under the security. Okay, no problem on that part. Click on next. Now here you will get something additional concept called firewall. Firewalls. So that's what. Hold until the security. We'll discuss all this concept in the securities. As of now, just select yes, yes. Click on additional settings. Okay. Microsoft Defender for SQL Server. If you want additional, okay, you can select the additional protection by choosing Microsoft Defender. Otherwise, you can go for I don't want any additional protection. That's it. Just click on review and create. Just click on review and create. Microsoft is not charging anything for this one because this is a just logical server. Then click on OK. Click on create. Now you will get one logical server. Now you will get one logical server. Let it be created. Aim activity migration है ना? हाँ? Scripts are okay. Still not done. Okay. Okay, almost done. Why it is took? Okay, done, sir. Now, when you once your logical server is created, go to the resources. You will see this is my logical server name, and this is your connection string. Server name is logical server name dot database name Windows dot net. Okay, here you can monitor. You can see the Active Directory configuration, Defender configuration, automatic tuning, editing, file groups. Okay, failover groups, TDE, and there are a lot of stuff here as well. We'll discuss one by one. We'll discuss one by one. So first, what we will do is copy the server name, go to SSMS, and try to connect, sir. Try to connect. Okay, and this is the SQL authentication I chosen, right? Now I need to pass SA admin, and I need to enter the password. I need to enter the password. When you click on connect, here you will get one warning by default. By default, because here you will get one more level of protection protection. So what you need to do, you need to go to the networks, logical server, sir. Go to the networks, and you need to add, as of now currently I'm add my current IP address, my client IP address. So if I go and search my IP address, if I search with my IP address, okay, so what is my IP address? 117.201.216.118. So by default, it is asking to add this IP address so that I can connect my SQL in my laptop SSMS. SSMS. So that's what I am not discussing security now. Just click on add. This is the one additional things you will get it. Click on save. Once it is saved, now you can cancel. Again, try to click on connect. Now you will get authenticate to the logical server. To the logical server. Only one additional, sir, additional step, network. Okay, you will get the network, additional network, especially when you are working with the Azure SQL database, especially when you are working with the Azure SQL database. When we are discussing security, we'll discuss all that stuff. Now, this is how your logical mission looks like. This is how. This is how your on-premises looks like. SQL on Azure VM looks like. Even MI will also look like same. MI will also look like same. But when you go for Azure SQL database, this is how your logical server looks like. Only you will see database, security, integration service catalog. You can't see server objects, you can't see replication, you can't see polybase, you can't see always on, you can't see management, you can't see SQL Server agent, nothing, sir. Only you will see databases, securities, and integration service catalog for Azure SQL database. For MI, you will see all this, sir. All this stuff for MI. Only for Azure SQL database, you will see only this stuff. Even when you expand your databases, expand your system databases, okay, expand system database, you will see only master. You won't see model, you won't see tempdb, nothing. But you may ask one question, Subbu sir, there are model database, there is a tempdb. Yes, yes. Internally, there is a model database, there is a resource database, there is a tempdb. Internally, sir. Internally, you can't see. You can't see, but internally, how our traditional SQL will works, your Azure SQL database will also work, but you can't see couple of things on fly. Like that is not that much flexibility, sir, when you specially go to the Azure SQL database. When you specially go to the Azure SQL database, there is not that much flexibility you can see. Whatever you are seeing in the on-premises, you will see a lot of restrictions, lot of compatibility issues, especially when you go for Azure SQL database. Make a sense? The difference, basic difference. Again, I'm not going for in-depth. Yep, no, yes.
I mean,
Yes, Subbu. Yes.
like Microsoft is managed all the databases,
Yes, he is going to maintain.
model,
So if
MDB,
yeah,
MS.
if you wanted to see that one, okay, dbcc on dbcc, okay, sql puff blog space. You can run this command. You will see master tempdb model database msdb. Are you able to see?
Oh, okay.
But here little bit confused even for me. Even I ask most of the people why I'm able to see two master log file, two master log file.
Oh, yeah.
Still I'm having confused. Still I search in Google, nothing I can't find. Okay, let it be no problem. But whenever you run DBC SQL per Flockspace, you will see TempDB, model database, MSDB, master. It's traditional only, right? Everyone.
Mm,
In traditional also, these are the four system databases. Even in Azure SQL database also four databases. But you can't see directly, but internally Microsoft is maintaining again.
okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that we'll see one by one. Okay, so first I deployed a logical server. First, I deploy logical server. Now, what you need to do? You need to deploy the databases. Now, again, back to portal, back to portal. So, on logical server, there is a session called Azure SQL databases. Currently, there are no SQL databases here because in this logical server, there are no SQL database. Now, what I'm going to do? Let's click on SQL database. Okay, click on create. Now, deploy SQL database. Now choose the resource group. It's already picked. Okay, because I'm having only one resource group. And choose my database name DB1. DB1. You can choose whatever you name. And this is my logical server. Okay. And forget about elastic pool. I am not sizes. Sizes. Okay. So go to the compute and storage. Okay. Click on configure. Under configure, if you scroll down, you will see DTU purchasing model, vCore purchasing model. DTU purchasing model, vCore purchasing model. Okay, here you will see being we are a free trial subscription, being we are a free trial subscription, you have control only on standard, basic under DTU, only general purpose. You don't have any control on hyperscale, business critical, premium. Being we are a free trial subscription. Being we are a free trial subscription, you don't have any control on hyperscale, business critical, and premium. Okay. Usually, I requested many students starting. I will purchase the premium. Okay, will deploy in pay-as-you-go model. Just give hesitated to give me. I told okay, chalo, no problem. Chalo, no problem. Because whatever price you are, the people who are paying the full amount, I'm happy. Okay, I will definitely remember their names without without they are asking too many questions. They are paying, but a couple of people are having some financial problem. They are requesting. Okay, I need to say everyone, right? So whatever you are gaining, almost we are discussing 90 plus live sessions. Getting my point? You are getting basic SQL, advanced SQL, high availabilities, Azure, along with the performance tuning, along with the performance tuning. Okay, so you need to see the content first. Basically, most of the people are not looking for content; they are looking for price. Oh, so Busar will take lot of price, but you should see the content, right? What content we are teaching, that is also very important. So that's the reason I'm going for completely free trial subscription. Okay, but once we done, I'm going to take three sessions, 3 to 4 sessions on mi. That time I will definitely the people who are happy to give the additional amount, for them I'm going to make the mi sessions. Straight away I'm telling, even for starting also I told mi is not including in this. Okay, mi is for additional price, right? Not like a 5,000, 10,000. I am just taking 1,000 or 2,000 per head. The people who are happy to give, only for them I'm going to take the session, and that too the sessions will be almost 4 to 5 hours. I will give only 30 minutes break in middle. Every 15 minutes, every 1.5 hour I will give 15 minutes break. We'll have one session at on fly. Okay, That's we will plan in this month ending. The people who are happy to give, only for them I'm going to take MI sessions, not for everyone. Okay, just make this point note again. Now, so first let me deploy DTU purchasing model, then I can go for vCore purchasing model. Okay, so let's go for, as of now, I am just demo purpose, sir. This is either you can go for basic or you can go for standard. If you go for basic, if you go for basic DTU, okay, the minimum price Microsoft is charging per month is 384 rupees. It's almost like $5, three to $5. Microsoft is charging for basic DTU for 2 GB of your database size and 5 DTUs. 5 DTUs, Microsoft is charging $5 per month. It's a basic amount. If you go for standard, okay, if you go for standard, okay, under free trial, okay, you can get up to 250 GB of your database size, and you can get up to 20 DTUs, sir, under 20 DTUs. Okay, you can't go beyond that one. So maximum this capacity is 3000 DTUs, 1 TB of size. Okay, but under free trial you will get only 20 cores, 20 DTUs, and the maximum 250 GB of storage. So that for that Microsoft is charging 2311 Indian rupees per month, per month. Okay, per month. So based on your DTUs, based on your DB size, Microsoft is going to charge per month. Hope everyone got it right. Sushant, you got it right now. Okay, not for transaction. This is
Yes,
for
sir.
your compute and storage. Hope you understand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now let me deploy one basic database. I am not doing any stuff. Let me go and deploy. Whenever you are doing some practice, go for standard, go for 20 DTUs, and go for 250 GB of storage. Enough for you. Okay. So as of now, I'm selecting basic and click on apply. Okay, click on apply, scroll down. As of now I'm going for local redundancy. I don't want anything, sir. Even for storage, for everything Microsoft is going to charge this one. If you go for zone, okay, geo, geo is not available for basic. Okay, let's go for local redundancy, then click on network. Again same, sir. uh, Firewalls, all that stuff, go for default, no change anything as of now, no need to worry. We'll go for default options, click on next. Okay, Microsoft Defender, everything go for default, click on next. Here, little bit important, if you're creating a empty database, go for none. I want a sample data like adventure works data, then go for sample. If you're having backup, you can go for backup, not like our traditional backup, sir, not like our traditional backup. If you're having already backup of this database, then you can go for backup. Currently there are no backup. I am going for sample so that I will see some data. But when you go for sample, you will get the default collation, that is a Latin collation. If you go for none, you can change the collation. You can change the collation, and you can also go for maintenance. Currently, we will wait for a while. Okay, there is a system maintenance between 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. UTC time. UTC time, sir. By default, this is fun for under UTC time. It will go for 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. There is a maintenance. In that maintenance, Microsoft is going to take the backups, apply the patches, upgrade everything, all that stuff. He will take care in this maintenance window. Without that, non-business hours only, he is going to perform. You need to tell to your customer, this is somewhat non-business hours. Okay, make a note down. Now click on review and create the database. Once you create the database, that will reflect here. Okay. Now that is what you can do it from
So
portal.
I have one
From,
question.
yes.
Sorry to disturb you.
No
Uh,
problem. No.
so You have selected standard model, but for production system, is it applicable the maintenance window?
Every box, sir, every box you should choose the maintenance because Microsoft need to upgrade, take the backups, apply the patches, all that stuff, right? You need to select.
But that
Okay,
activity is going in the background. It won't affect the
background.
performance
No,
availability of data.
little bit, maybe little bit. That's what, little bit. I'm not telling no. We should not tell no. Maybe. So that's the reason we are highlighting to our customer. You should highlight this point to the customer. This is the maintenance window. Maybe you notice little bit performance issue in this window. Maybe Microsoft is doing any additional stuff. Okay, not okay.
But
Okay, okay,
we have to enable the feature, right?
You should enable, ma'am.
Hmm.
You should. Otherwise,
Okay.
when Microsoft will go?
is there any Microsoft article to suggesting that how much the other factors affected means performance or availability so that we can study
There will
if
be,
you
sir.
know.
I'm not telling no. There will be. Let me search. Okay, let me search.
Okay, okay,
There are a
okay,
lot again. See, if you go to this blog, okay, there are a lot when you go for. Sir, that's what. So, for example, if you go for SQL database, okay. So if you go here, if someone is asking about pricing, I'm telling, okay, you need to choose whether it is a single database or elastic pool. You need to choose the DTU or vCore. You need to choose a premium, standard, basic. You need to choose your local redundancy. Then you will get the price here. How much Microsoft is going to charge? How much Microsoft is going to charge?
okay,
So the
okay.
pricing you can see clearly here, sir. Pricing you can see clearly here. Pricing calculator. If someone is asking, we'll go to the pricing calculator, we'll choose whatever our requirement, then Microsoft will suggest how much Microsoft is going to charge. How much Microsoft is going to charge. Hope you are getting, everyone. Okay,
Yeah,
let's find that
Okay.
article. So this is my database now. I created one database called DB1. So if you go and refresh here, you can see the database called DB1. Now this database is like how your traditional database, sir. How your traditional database, it looks like same. There is no difference. Database level, no, sir. Exactly same. How your database looks like, here also your database looks like same. You can create the tables, stored buzzer functions, triggers, blah blah blah, something. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want here. Whatever you want here. We'll see one by one. Okay, step by step. So from portal you can create the database. From command prompt also you can create the database. But when you create a command prompt, by default it will go to the standard DTU purchasing model. Create database, database, database name DB2. Okay, you can create a database from SSMS as well, but it will go for DTU standard purchasing model by default. By default. So whenever you are trying to create the database from mostly we won't create from command prompt. We'll create from the portal level. We'll choose all the properties whatever we need, and we'll try to create the database from portal. Okay, so this is how you will create the database under DTU. Okay, now if we wanted to deploy the database under vCore purchasing model, again same logic here also. Right click on database. Go to the SQL Server, SQL database, choose your subscription, choose your resource group, choose your database name DB3. Okay, choose your logical server, go to the storage, compute and storage. Now this time I'm going for general purpose vCore. Now I'm going for general purpose. Under general purpose, you are seeing two things. One is provisioned, one is serverless. Now here little bit difference. One is provision, one is serverless. What do you mean by provision means by default all your resources will be allocated only for your VM. Means whatever the CPU, whatever the memory, whatever the storage it allocated for your, that resources will be pre-allocated. See, its compute resources are pre-allocated and you only can access that resources. No one can access that resources. But when you go for serverless, okay, now when you go for serverless, that will work in a different mechanism, sir. We'll see. First, let me deploy provision. Under provision, the CPU memory will be pre-allocated to your logical to your database. That resources no one can access. Only you can access when you go for provisioned. When you are deploying general purpose, only on general purpose, sir. Again, you won't see in hyperscale, you won't see in business critical. You won't see in hyperscale, you won't see in business critical. Okay, only in general purpose you will see provision and serverless. This is also one of the most important interview question. What is serverless deployment? We'll see that one, sir, in a while. Okay, when you go for provision, your CPU memory will be pre-allocated to your database, and your database only can access that CPU memory. No one can access. No one can access. Please make a note. And when you just scroll down, now here you need to choose the compute hardware. Here you can go for standard. Standard means general purpose, like balanced your CPU and memory. And when you go for FE series, when you go for DC series, when you go for M series, memory optimized series, okay, confidential optimized series, and you can go for compute optimized series. Compute optimized series. Even when we are discussing, you remember when we are discussing VM sizes, I told you, right? Okay, everyone, I told you, right? When you specially go to the sizes, which series they are expecting, your application team is expecting, you need to choose that storage and you need to choose that many resources. As of now, in a free trial, I can't go for any other. I can go for standard only. Click on OK, and I can choose only 2 cores. Even I can go for 4 cores. Even only I can go for 2 cores. 2 cores, and maximum I can go for 1 TB. Out of 1 TB, 307 TB, 30 GB is going for log file, and 700 GB is going for data file. Data file. Okay, but again, it is in free trial, sir. When you go for pay as you go model, you can go for maximum 128 cores, and maximum you can go for 4 terabytes. You can go for 4 terabytes. Hope you are getting, everyone. Yes, no. When you go for pay as you go model, there is no restriction, but only under free trial you have the restrictions. You can use up to only general purpose, that to only 2 cores and 1 TB of storage. Now, very important concept everyone must and should know is save money, licensing. Licensing. So Microsoft came up with a concept specially for vCores, not for DTU, sir. Again, I mean to say not for DTUs, only for vCores. Either it can be MI or it can be Azure SQL database. It can be MI or Azure SQL database. For example, you been purchased the license in on-premises. Okay, that license are free currently. No, you're not using anywhere. Now you can convert that on-premises license into a PaaS platform with the help of Azure Hybrid Benefits. Azure Hybrid Benefit. Azure Hybrid Benefits, sir. Using Azure Hybrid Benefit, you can convert your on-premises license into a PaaS license. PaaS license. Hope you are getting, everyone. So you already purchased a license in on-premises. Whatever the license you purchased that not been using, you can convert that license into Azure PaaS. So here you can, sir. Okay, enter the number of core license you own that are covered with active software assurance and Windows Server subscription. Okay, how many license you are having in on premises? You can choose those many licenses, and you can convert that license into the IaaS platform, into the PaaS platform. See, into the PaaS platform also you can convert. So if you are having one standard edition license, two enterprise license, what you can get it here? You can get it single database or elastic pool. You can get general purpose, business critical hyperscale, and sir, for this, what you can get it? So here, if you scroll down, here you can see, sir. Okay, one SQL Server, one or four vCore enterprise edition. So for example, for each one core SQL Server Enterprise Edition. For one core SQL Server Enterprise Edition, you will get it 4 vCore of managed instance. Okay, Azure SQL Database, general purpose, hyperscale, you are not getting business critical, sir. And 4 cores of SQL Server Standard Edition on Azure VM. On Azure VM. So whenever you are having one core enterprise edition on premises license, you can convert into Azure SQL database. Okay, that is a VM license, SQL server license, server license, Azure VM managed instance license, along with Azure SQL license. So you can convert instead of wasting your license in on premises. Okay, you can use those license in cloud as well. How means you need to choose just yes and choose the license. Choose the license. When
So
you
is it
choose
called
this one,
hybrid?
sorry,
Is it called hybrid?
yes, hybrid. It's a hybrid. Technically, you should call it as a hybrid. Now,
Yeah,
your
both of them license.
Windows license team will contact you. Okay, will contact you for further on licensing part. They will contact you. Getting my point? If you are having licensing, that license you nowhere using on on-premises, and they're simply sitting idle, you can use that you can convert those license into the PaaS platform or IaaS platform. So how you are getting, sir? For one core of enterprise edition, you are getting 4 vCores of MI, 4 vCores of general purpose. This this are 4 vCores of general purpose and 4 vCores of hyperscale, hyperscale. Okay, you can use it. Microsoft won't charge anything. Okay, not okay.
Okay, sir.
How the licensing is working? How the licensing is working? Now there is no geo redundancy, sir. A general purpose type geo redundancy includes an additional cost. If you are selecting geo redundancy, sorry, there is no not. If you are selecting geo redundancy, there will be little bit cost will vary. As you ask, right, ma'am, is there any DR? Yes. If you select zone redundancy, there is a DR. Okay. As of now, I don't want any DR. Let's go for normal. Then click on apply. It is a provisioned vCore general purpose deployment. General purpose deployment. Okay. Standard service. Okay. 2 cores, 1 TB. Geo redundancy is disable. And again, same concept. There is no additional things. Again, whatever you done while you were deploying DTU purchasing model, right? Same thing you need to deploy here. Apart from nothing else here you need to do. So what is the major thing you need to look into? So whenever you are going for general purpose, there is two things. One is provision, one is serverless. Under provision, your CPU memory will be pre-allocated to your database. No one can access. No one can access. Uh, Serverless deployment. If you go for serverless deployment, okay. If you go for serverless deployment, again database DB4. Okay, if you go for general purpose, if you go for serverless deployment means, okay, now you can get only maximum up to 80 cores, up to 80 cores, and your memory can be maximum up to 240 GB of RAM. You will get it when you go for serverless. Now when you go for serverless means, for example, you are having one application, sir. You are having one application. That application we will use only for 8 hours. 8 hours. After 8 hours, no one will connect. 8 hours. No one will connect. No one will connect and nothing will perform. Only your application will run for 8 hours. Okay? Remaining 16 hours, absolutely amount to Microsoft, even I am not using for 16 hours. In that scenario, go for serverless. Serverless. When you go for serverless, okay, so Microsoft will deallocated CPU, deallocated memory, and this CPU and memory can use someone in this span of 16 hours. Once again you start the connecting to the server, means once you start establishing the connection, again whatever you requested memory CPU will be allocated to the VM, to your database in serverless, and Microsoft is going to charge per second, not for hour, not for hour. See sir, Microsoft is not charging even 1 rupee per second, per second. Forget about dollars, ma'am. Even it's when you go for Indian rupee, 85 rupees 80 rupees is equal to $1. Even Microsoft is not charging 1 rupee Indian currency for CPU and memory. Microsoft is only charging for storage. Is charging very less for CPU and memory when you go for serverless. What do you mean? What do you mean by serverless means, in case if you're having this kind of application, then why can't you suggest serverless so that your price will be too less? But what is the difference, Subbu, means when you go for serverless, whoever connecting first time, they may notice some performance issues, sir, because whenever you are establishing the connection, that time again resources will back to this your database. That time you will notice little bit performance issue, otherwise maximum same. Okay, not okay, everyone. So this feature is only available in Azure SQL database. That too, this is only available in general purpose. Only in general purpose. No wait, sir. So you are telling that okay, you can go for maximum course. Okay, under free trial you will get only 2 cores. Let's go for 2 cores, sir, under free trial. And minimum memory I'm going for, okay, maximum for 2 cores I'm going for maximum 6 GB. I don't want that memory. Let's go for only 2 GB. Enough for me. I am not doing anything, sir. And I am telling auto pass delay. I am telling within 1 hour, within 1 hour, if there is no connections, okay, you can deallocate the resource and you can allocate to someone else within 1 hour. Within 1 hour, if no resource, no one is connecting to my database, there is no connection on my database, then you can deallocate the resource and you can allocate to someone else. That is only about the serverless. If you go for serverless, okay, Microsoft is going to charge per second basis because your CPU and memory will be deallocated if you're not using, and it will be used by someone else. Again, whenever you start establishing the connection, again your resources will allocate to your database. That's it. Apart from nothing else here. Very strange thing where we can explain. Again, same logic. Again, same logic, sir. So whenever you see here, you can't say, okay, this database is part of DTU, this database is part of vCore, this database is part of provision, this part of is part of serverless. So this database looks like a traditional database only. But when you go for deeper and deeper to see under which compute and which storage the databases are deployed, that is very, very important. Okay, today that's what my plan is, how to deploy different performance tier databases. Next sessions will be very interesting, sir. We'll see one by one concept. Okay, not okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's it about today. Apart from nothing,
Uh,
next session, yeah, yes, sir.
I have some questions.
Yeah, yes.
Uh, okay, so first question is, uh, what is your what is the Azure SQL environment in your in organization? Yeah, how much percentage is the IaaS servers are allocated and PaaS servers are allocated?
Sorry, can you please repeat? Maybe your voice is,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay. I will repeat. So,
yeah.
can you explain the Azure SQL environment in your organization?
Oh, in my organization, sir.
Yes.
Okay, see, depends on my infrastructure. Okay, so we are going for almost 60 to 70% we are going for IaaS platform, because we are
Mhm.
having a lot of side by side applications, and 30 to 40% we are going for PaaS platform. That too, okay, nowadays we are keep on moving to the MI instead of going for Azure SQL database. Earlier we used to encourage Azure SQL database due to lack of compatibilities, lack of restrictions. Now we are trying to
Mhm.
encourage the MI, because Microsoft is enhancing a lot on MI. Okay, based on our budget, based on our futures, based on our infrastructures, this is the category we are choosing nowadays, sir.
Okay. So, in general, we must be focusing on IaaS and MI mostly.
Both, sir, both. That's again, I am not saying no one can say, sir. Okay, because that will predict based on your structure, your project structure. Okay, I cannot say directly, no one can, sir, because every project is independent, every thoughts are independent, correct? That will differs definitely. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And second question is, what is the mostly daily task you will be performing on Azure environment as an DT?
Regular, sir. Backups, see, in on, okay, in especially we're discussing about cloud, especially in the
Yeah.
cloud, especially like granting the permissions. Okay, granting the permissions, performing the refresh activities. Okay,
Mhm.
troubleshooting the issues, monitoring the logs, monitoring generic only. Again, in cloud also same, it's like a SQL only, right, sir? Mostly why
Right.
we are getting confused means, sir, you are purchasing a normal Swift car. Let me give you one example. You are purchasing Audi car. What you will see the difference, sir? What you will see? Almost both are same only, right? You are using for
Mhm.
traveling purpose. So where you are traveling? If you are traveling off road, you will take Swift car, because you won't take Audi car for off road, right? Then gone. So in general, what we will do means, so granting the permission, revoking the permissions, okay, creating the indexes, seeing the performance related issues, working on resources, like sometimes CPU is hitting high, sometimes DTs are hitting high, okay, and
Mhm.
storage part, all this stuff, are generic. Whatever we'll do in on-premises, all the stuff we'll implement, but not like a backups. We won't worry about the backups, we won't worry about tuning. That's what, until unless we come in this portion. When you go for here, there is a concept called tuning concept. Okay, here, intelligent performance. Okay, when you go here, you will get little bit difference. That's what we'll see. Hold on for a while. Okay, but generic only, sir. Again, it's not like a strange thing we will do. It's a generic only. Whatever you will do in on-premises, almost you can replicate same thing in PaaS also. deploying the databases, moving the databases, granting the permissions, monitoring the resources, okay, troubleshooting the locking, blocking deadlocks, okay, deadlocks, configuring the high availability techniques, all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Uh, so have you experienced any difference between on-premises and Azure SQL database in terms of performance domain? So, means the work, all of them saying that the automatic tuning is a good part for DBA, right? Our work is less because of Azure SQL data on cloud. So, have you experienced difference in both in compared to on-premises database?
Maybe my voice was different. So what I mean to say, okay, so you can whatever activity working on premises, same thing you will do apart from backups, okay, apart from backups, patches, backups, upgradation, all this stuff will be taken care by Microsoft. All this stuff will be taken care by Microsoft. Okay, so what you will do specially apart from this means, so little bit related to the automation, like configuring the alerts, configuring the matrices, and working with intelligent processing, that you will taken care additional than in on premises. Okay, configuring the TDE, working with Azure Key Vault, all that stuff you will do.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
uh, okay. And one more, it's a general question.
yeah, yeah.
So there is a general perception that Azure cloud is more costly than other cloud providers. What is your opinion
No,
on that?
it's absolutely wrong, sir. Absolutely, I can promise you on that part. Microsoft is a bit cheaper when you compare with AWS. When you
Okay.
compare with Oracle, SQL Server is bit cheaper. Directly, I can say. Okay, you
So
can talk
Oracle
to
is more.
anyone. No,
Hmm.
Oracle is cost. What is the license cost for your Oracle? You know,
No,
you been
I
your
don't have a real
just
experience, so I can't.
no, no problem. Just maybe tomorrow also get some inputs, so I can show you SQL so that you came to know. Eh, because that's what. Okay, Oracle is a bit higher cost when you compare with SQL Server. AWS is a bit coster when compared with AWS. Azure, Azure. So that's the reason Microsoft is draftly growing. Sir, you were. I am not saying anything. See, if you go for databases, databases. See, SAP is also holding here. Oracle is holding here. Okay, PostgreSQL, MySQL, Amazon Aurora. Lot of Amazon Aurora is sorry, it's for AWS. Cosmos DB is for SQL, Azure part. Okay, cheaper, sir. Not like others. It's cheaper. Microsoft products. Sir. License cost is bit low only, not higher. Okay,
Okay,
still good points. Yeah, thanks. That's what I'm expecting from everyone. Okay, thanks. If no questions, see you at evening.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
yeah. Thank you.